Hey everyone, this is Scott from Scott to Grow Podcast. Welcome to another edition of ReWatching a Series of Unfortunate Events. Today I'm talking about Season 2, Episode 8, The Hostile Hospital Part 2. So I just finished rewatching this episode, and I like this one even more than the first part, just because we get a few more of the fun scenes. We get Klaus and Sunny having to find Violet, who's been kidnapped by Olaf, who is, kind of psychologically torturing her with the idea that he's going to cut off her head. This was just kind of a fun episode with that. Stakes them run around the hospital trying to find them. Klaus finally puts on a disguise. The Boulders have a reason to put on a disguise. And I think it's interesting that out of everybody in the hospital, the only ones that see through it are Olaf and his troop. So it's kind of funny that, nobody ever sees through Olaf's ones and no one saw through the Baudelaires, but they can see through each other's. It's just kind of a funny thing that they're the only ones who aren't in on the fact that people are dressing up in costumes, but I guess they're the ones who have the context. Everyone else is just, living their normal lives, except for Mr. Poe. Mr. Poe's got no excuse. You've seen him in costume 6 times now. 6? Multiple times now. I forgot what book I was on. So that was still fun, 7. But it was still fun seeing them kind of having to, get in the costume. I liked the accent he was working with, and the fact that in the end to save Violet, he just rambles off some stuff that he had read about, so plays to his strengths again. One of my favorite parts about these books is they play to the 2 orphans' very, not particular strengths, but very kind of cool strengths, with Klaus being the book guy and Violet being, the engineer, kind of mechanical one. And so I really like that they, always kind of feature that with, this one, it was him having to use the history of knives to distract people, and then she, using the elastic hose in the hospital for them to jump out the window, which was, it's just a fun scene to see. I can't remember if that's exactly how it happened in the book or not. I do remember there was a fire in the book, that's for sure. That I don't know if it was started in the same way. I'm pretty sure Olaf started it in the book as well, but I don't know if it was because he was watching that film or not. I don't know if that film was in the book or not, the Snicket file, that is. I'm not really sure if that was in there or not. I can't really remember or not. He ended up destroying that. Olaf ended up destroying that and starting the fire, which burned down a place, which kind of seems like it might be kind of, I don't want to say foreshadowing, I don't know if that's the right word, but kind of alluding to maybe the fact that has he started some other fires before? Which is something that's kind of always kind of a suspicious kind of idea throughout the whole series so far, but they never put any kind of evidence to it so far, not that I've noticed at least. Maybe I missed something. It's always possible. I'm not perfect. So there's some other fun stuff. We do get Mr. Poe showing up for random reasons, which is always a fun part of these books, especially when you get into the ones where the orphans are on the run, and it's like he just shows up for random reasons, and it's like, okay, yeah. He was feeling a little lightheaded when he was in the last city, so he came to the nearest hospital. It does make sense. I like that they also, somebody points out, it's like, oh, you're going to get your cough checked out here? And Poe's just like, cough? And I'm like, that's funny, actually. Okay, I like the idea that Poe's completely unaware that he coughs his brains out all day long, which is just kind of just a funny thought. So I just like that little thing that they put in there for that when Poe shows up. What else do I have written down? Oh, the record keeper guilt tripping the Baudelaires. That felt very much like something, like a lesson you were supposed to learn when you were reading this book when you were younger. It's just like, you shouldn't lie to people, otherwise you'll be guilt tripped. Even though you kind of did the right thing, and you weren't the ones who technically did the destruction. You guys didn't push anything, but you did deceive him, which is, it's not cool. But sometimes when people don't believe you, kids gotta do what a kid's gotta do. I'm on the Baudelaire side, as always. Maybe not always, but mostly. Some of the other stuff I like. The operating theater, I vaguely mentioned about that before, but I do remember that being in the book, and that being a pretty big scene or big part of the book, that is. So it was a fun recreation in this episode, which I enjoyed, and I like that he, stops it all by using paperwork again. It seems to be Olaf's number one fault. The one thing that Olaf can never get around and always seems to stop him in his tracks is paperwork. So I think the Baudelaires need to, write that down for these upcoming books, because I have no idea what happens after this next couple episodes. So we'll be getting to that soon. What else do I have written down? I pretty much got to everything I had written down for this episode. But yeah, be sure to let me know in the comments below if I got anything wrong about the connection between this episode and the book, and anything you might have liked or didn't like about this episode. Thanks again for joining me today, and have a good one.